Army, and we want you
to watch the Caine interviews on Cat Channel 18 Fayetteville.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Hey, you're watching the Caine interviews, and I'm your host, Shannon Caine. Today, we're not only featuring an interview, but a musical performance as well. The band is called What Army? They're based right here in Northwest Arkansas, although they actually come from different places, but they're based here in Northwest Arkansas. So, following a brief interview, they're going to be performing some songs for us. I know you're going to want to stick around for that. We're going to be talking with Fury, Eris, and Crispy. All right, guys, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Hello.
glad to be here.
All right, now, how long has this band been together? Just give us a little bit of band history here.
Well, we played our first show in March of 2008.
Okay.
We started it with just Fury and I, and a drum machine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, so much more than a drum machine. We like to say it was actually the poltergeist of Billy Bachman, son of the author Richard Bachman, was actually possessing our laptop.
Cool.
And playing drums for us.
There you go.
yes, and although he was a great drum machine, we replaced him about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Stephen King
With
sued us to have
Crispy.
the ghost of his son back. So.
Yeah, so and Crispy has been awesome.
They were recording at the studio I work at, and I noticed that they used electronic drums 6 months ago, and then I just wanted to play drums for them. And
Cool.
that's how we came across each other.
All right. Now, you've done some really intriguing music videos, but of the music videos you've shot so far, which is your favorite?
Mine is River. I think River.
That's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, River is really good. I'm kind of excited because we're going to have to jump back in and shoot a new music video.
So we got this thing.
Since we've got him, and he hasn't been part of a music video yet.
Wow. Okay.
So,
do you have a shoot date for that, or
No, not
We're
yet.
kicking
Still
around
in
some
the
ideas.
formative process?
Yeah.
All right.
We're always open to like kind of requests from fans if people want to get on myspace.com/whatarmyband or friend the What Army version of Jessica Eris, E-R-I-S, on Facebook, and kind of give suggestions for what of our songs would they like to see made into a video. We've got some concepts of like, bands dressed up as like Mothra and Godzilla stomping on Fayetteville skyline type.
Okay, that works.
Something a little more,
Yeah,
comedic.
Sir, yes, sir. We've talked about doing a video for that. We've talked about doing a video for Heretic. These are all new songs.
Yeah. And there's an older song called Pretty Monsters that we years ago when we wrote it basically promised the body mod community that we would do something eventually with that. So there's all kinds of options being kicked around.
Okay, now you mentioned having some new songs. We have a new CD. All right, cool. Now, aside from this, the new one, how many recordings do you have out?
We only have that one and one other. The first What Army album is just self-titled. It's and you can still pick it up at Sound Warehouse.
Okay.
It has the computer drums on it, but probably here in the next year, we're going to be going back and taking those recordings and getting rid of the electronic drums and replacing them with him.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to be re-releasing our first album, and we're already, like, within the next month, we're going to start recording our third CD.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Keeping busy.
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you find that the songwriting process is as rewarding as the finished music itself?
Well, you're going to get 3 different opinions on that,
Probably,
I'm sure.
yeah, 'cause
I really enjoy the songwriting process a lot, but I don't consider the songwriting process to be separate from, you know, the finished product, because to me, the end result of write song, learn song, practice song, edit song, perform it live a few times and see how it goes over would be, and then actually record it for posterity. So, you know, to me, it's all one process.
Right.
And
Okay.
I'm not satisfied with it unless it gets recorded at the end of it. It's like, well, what did I do all that for?
Yep.
You know?
All right.
My answer, I hate songwriting. I
Okay.
really do. Songwriting is like getting my nails pulled out one at a time. It's like,
can be
okay,
arranged.
I have this vision. There's beautiful vision of a song or somebody else does, and it's like trying to teach it. It's like, water, Helen, water.
Thank you, Annie Sullivan.
Right, and it takes forever to get it out there, but I love the finished product.
Cool.
When I can just sit in the car, put in the CD, kick back, and listen to it, I'm like a proud parent.
Cool. All right.
I, on the other hand, love the songwriting process. I feel it's almost more rewarding than a finished product. It's always nice to sit back and listen to a finished product and be like, oh yeah, that's the work I did. But I always like poking at a project for a long time, even years. Sometimes stuff that I've written in the past anyways has kind of, you know, refining and getting the, you know, the perfect song.
That's something
is
that we've
really
actually,
rewarding to me.
with this band, like we've struggled with a little bit, because it take us about a year to really do what you're talking about and get this
Right.
Babydoll Suicide album. And the problem is that as we perform these songs live and get out there, you refine little things in the drums, she does the guitar line, I learn, you know, I've picked up some of your slap funk style on the bass, and of course I get better and better vocally as I actually learn the darn song. And so then I go back in and hear like our last take that was recorded, and I'm like, oh no, this won't do, I've got to redo the vocal. I mean, there's like one song on this album, I think we redid the whole vocal track like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because
Crash.
I kept getting better and better takes of what it could be as I performed it more and more.
And to be honest, there's a song on this album that I wrote 15 years ago. Back in the day, it was called Inflatable Asbestos Wildebeest, and now it's called Rubber War Pony. It really hasn't changed titles that much. But it's taken 15 years to get to a spot where I'm like, that's where it should be.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, you all do a lot of social networking. There's MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, the whole thing. Have these efforts proven to be helpful to you?
Well, I mean, yeah, and anything that gets you a chance to get in front of more people, you know. I know one big thing that was really helpful just right before I think we got lucky enough to pick up a wild crispy in its native habitat was at a after party for the Neo-Victorian Ravenwood Manor Steampunk Festival that happens every year. Totally should go to that. There's like a kind of cabaret riverboat gambler act / you know, goth stand-up comedy guy named Voltaire, and he's really popular in that community, just
awesome.
kind of a household name if you're a goth. And so he does this song called God Thinks. It's one of his older pieces, and he's actually moved on
Doesn't really perform it.
yeah, he doesn't really do it anymore. So we kind of wandered up to him at the after party, this brave one here, and said basically, can we have it? Like, can we have permission to record, release, or sell that? And so we just wanted to because we thought it was a great message that he had, and we were fans of his work. And then through the joy of MySpace, which Voltaire is also completely addicted to, we were able to, like, after we completed recording that song and sent it to him, he actually bulletined it out to all of his, like, 7,000 fans. And in one day, I mean, how many?
We got 700 hits in an hour and a half,
Yeah.
which was pretty amazing.
And many of those people friended us on MySpace, and the problem is, of course, Voltaire is based out of New York. We don't play a lot of New York shows, so I don't know, the thing I don't know about social networking is how does it translate into people actually turning up at shows? Locally, Facebook does a good job, I think.
I think it's a good reminding session.
Yeah, it's a good
mean,
nag application.
It's a great nagging system.
Okay.
I mean, Twitter, that's all it is a nag.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're on Twitter also.
Yes, we are on, if you look up What Army on Twitter, or on Facebook, or MySpace.
Crispy's in the John.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, speaking of Crispy, the Crispman, mostly the way you guys advertise, he has a side project that's called the Crispman. You guys mostly advertise through social networking and YouTube videos and stuff. How's
Yeah,
that
I mean,
been
comedic
doing?
shorts. It's surprising what actually gets hit the most, or the most random.
The Last Cracker.
Yeah, Last Cracker that was totally improvised, but yeah, just the social networking is good as long as you know how to make it random enough
Right.
that people chime in on it.
Right.
And then there's stuff that's totally unplanned and random. Like, we did a piece that was just a funny comedic piece with some of the band members and some members of an Oklahoma band called Rot Gut Swine in it. And it was called The Street MacGyver, and it's all about, well, you've seen it probably. Oh, yeah. Everyone go look at The Street MacGyver. And it's all about Jessica being like this MacGyver of the streets who can, make a pup tent out of 2 straws and a napkin. And it's like all these various homeless people calling into the Street MacGyver from payphones going, help me, all I've got is a fork and a napkin and a lighter, what do I do?
Yeah.
And with the MacGyver movie coming out soon, it started to get a lot of hits because people search for MacGyver and find Street MacGyver. So it's so random about what's actually going to
I think
get noticed.
I think we've got things are pretty good in our boat on the whole social networking because we also use community access television.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have access to all the video equipment here, and we can put out little video shorts, like a message from the CMD. People have been loving that.
Yeah, that would be Campaign for Moral Degeneracy.
Right.
Yes.
Of course.
And that was filmed with equipment
Yeah.
from
Filmed,
this very station. You're
filmed
watching.
and edited with the equipment from the station,
All right.
and it's awesome.
Just goes to show you, folks. And the cat's here for you, no matter what you're into.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, I know this is probably the number one asked question, but tell us, where did the band's name come from?
That's my fault. I sort of named the thing, and these guys didn't contradict me. I have a problem with genre. Here, just drag out the soapbox and let me get on it. And the problem I have with breaking up music into smaller and smaller niche markets is that that's a record company marketing thing. That was really never about the fans. Rock and roll is pretty much just rock and roll. Your eyebrows are twitching. Thought you'd want to know. And so, you start breaking it down and you wind up with, it's like, I only listen to like post-1990s dark wave steampunk, and it's like, great, you and 5 more people in the world, and if you start breaking your band down into too small or specific of a genre, not only do you limit yourself on what can your sound be and still considered to be part of that genre, but you're going to go to a town, and if you're advertised and marketed that way, 20 people are going to show up. Whereas if people from not only just fans of different genres of music would come out and give something new or unusual a try, but also, like say if the whole Roller Girl crowd would come out to see bands, and all the local bands would go out to see the Roller Girls, and all of them would go out to see the Firepoi people or the Body Mod crowd's performances that they do. Poetry scene, the slam poetry scene, we're starting to get some crossover between the local metal scene and the local slam poetry scene. And I think if you could get artists to band together, you'd have this sort of army of artists who could kind of dictate to venues and could kind of dictate to record labels and, even to the radio stations, what do we like, what do we want to see more of? Because right now it's more like the bigger record labels and the big 6 radio media conglomerates and, VH1, MTV types are telling the audience, what are you going to like? And so the name, I know this is a long rant, but it comes from the concept of you and What Army is like, well, we are What Army. We're the What Army that's going to like stand up behind you and support your free speech media, support your art, you know, support other artists, be there front row center for other performances, not just music, and try to create that community. So if the band has a mission, I guess you could say that that's kind of, it's a networking mission between genres and between. You guys
like
behind me
art.
on this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do you guys, like, how do you guys interpret the band's
Yeah,
name?
you and What Army, you know, like, well, we're the Army. you know,
Right,
That's the concept is, hey, let's bring it.
Completely. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we try to live that in the local music scene. Like if, you know, people need to borrow a piece of equipment, or if there's a new band that's, you know, hasn't been able to get a gig yet, and we get a chance to dictate who our opening band is going to be.
We pull them in. Yeah.
Or like the local poets, if there's a slow changeover between bands and we see some of the local slam poets in the house, we try to get them up on stage, grab the mic, and, you know, so we try to stand behind that name.
Cool. All right. Now, I was talking to one of your fans who said that one of the really interesting things about a What Army show is the diversity of the audience, and there are people from all age groups and all walks of life. Why do you think?
I think it comes down to what she was explaining about the whole, like, our genre. We don't stick to one thing.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're doing everything from almost folksy sounding stuff to metal, complete metal, and I just think it makes everybody finds something about it they like.
Okay.
So
I think it's the diversity in the band itself.
right.
Our age range,
Yeah.
our beliefs. I mean, everything is
Yeah.
very diverse.
We've got
very different.
3 different ages that are close to 10 years difference between each
Right.
of us.
Right.
We've got 3 completely different religious beliefs, but we're able to find the commonality of beliefs for our message. You know, we have like a lesbian girl, a transgendered girl, and
A straight Mormon
completely,
guy.
totally heterosexual guy. You know, and yet we all find commonalities there too. It's, I think it brings, and then we all have like such different interests that we engage in. You know, I mean, you do like T-Quick DJ stuff and.
Just different influences, I would say. Musically, you know, I'm more of a funk and hip hop type of guy, and I'm playing in a rock band. I love rock and roll. You can't beat it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we all have very wide range of diverse backgrounds.
Yeah, and I think what I really like is, you know, when I turn up and I'm like, here, you guys got to hear this Pink album, or, you know, when Jessica's like, look, I got the new Slayer album, or like you turn up with the new like Dio crossover Heaven and Hell, or you turn up with like
Break
here
Machine.
Break Machine. Oh God, you guys should look up Break Machine. I developed an unholy liking for this
Totally.
like 80s kind of
They're
funk
the
beat
best.
band.
If you like breakdancing,
Yeah.
You will like Break Machine.
I love Break Machine.
And because
face.
none of us believe in genre per se, we're always willing to give it a chance. And if we hear something we like, we just throw it into the big, you know, gumbo that is our sound.
Cool. And so the audience comes up having no more identifiable genre than the music does. Right.
Yeah, we've got everything from like little 6-year-old, well, 7. Is Autumn 7? We have little 6 or 7-year-old black girls and, oh wait, it's Irish. She's Irish.
She's
Sorry,
Irish.
Becca.
Yes.
You know, we have like, you know, 60-year-old lawyers who are active in the body mod community. I mean, we have just everything turns up at our shows. I think we have like Dylan Thomas threatening to turn up at a show.
We love all of you.
Yes.
Cool.
You.
That's why.
Hurt by the cold,
30
so sad and lonely. Oh,
$30 after the show. We'll love all of you. Oh.
All right. You heard it here first. All right. Now, does your music have any particular artistic statement behind it? Is there something that you really want to convey to the audience? Or does it vary by song?
You know, one time you said your main statement was wake up. And I kind of like that. I don't know. It really does vary a lot by song, but...
Actually, can I
Yeah,
chime
yeah,
in?
jump in.
Okay. Because I totally...
No, and you're
this
fired.
idea of what the band is about. And I think the military theme, you know, I mean, with us, behind the flag, we want you... It's the, I feel it's the freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You know, yeah.
And that's, and like,
in your own weird way,
in
whatever
our own
that
weird
is.
way,
Whatever
it may
happiness
be.
means to you.
Right,
Right,
exactly.
and we want that for everyone.
Yeah,
And
not based on some like, politician's idea of morality.
Right.
Whatever
Right.
makes you happy, as long as you don't hurt other people. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, and I kind of stand behind that whole concept of, there's a certain irony to it, because normally, like, the military is about, let's create a sense of unity by having you all look the same as each other, dress the same, carry the same weapons, respond in the same formulaic ways to orders. It's this big homogenizing machine. But the idea of an army of artists, to me, would be that it would be kind of like herding feral house cats.
Yeah.
That it would be like everybody would maybe have some of the same goals in general, but would be completely individualistic. And I think there's a lot about, if you read our lyrics, there's a lot about defying labels and being
Right.
pigeonholed.
Right.
Because I mean, you would look at our band and you wouldn't think, okay, we'd have like a pagan and atheist and like a very traditional Christian in our band, for example. It's not what you think of in rock and roll. Maybe the pagan or the Satanist, if we had one. We should get one.
Yeah.
But
On eBay.
Go buy your, I was gonna
We
say,
should go
go,
get
go
one
buy
on
yourself
eBay.
a Satan.
Yeah.
there's gotta be one, right? They'll sell
Maybe
their
you can-
souls, right?
Maybe you can rent one.
Maybe rent a Satanist. See, there's a concession, niche marketing right there. And you'd think looking at a hard rock band, it's like so many of the metal bands, it's like they limit themselves. They write angry all the time. And we have stuff that's practically folk rock. We randomly throw in waltzes. If we're in a waltz mood, we write a waltz. It's not your typical heavy 4/4 with a backbeat.
It's kind of weird because people will be moshing and hurting each other to some of our songs that are completely about, hey, love one another.
Yeah.
But the music is so, in their face that they're just going
Driving.
nuts,
Yeah, so that's definitely a message. And I agree with you on the whole, like, wake up, don't believe what you're told, don't buy what you're sold type. Just think for yourself, please.
Yeah.
And don't buy what the radio station tells you to buy what you like.
Right.
That's why I think it's so important for bands to get out and perform these days and get on tours. There's so many bands clamoring for attention on all the social networking sites that it both helps you reach fans, but because everybody's doing it, it also helps you get lost in the shuffle. And
Right.
so you also have to get out there and physically meet people.
You have to get out there and tour.
Don't buy what the media tells you to buy. By the way, our CD is releasing tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it'll have been released a while
But
back
we're not
by the
really
time
the
this.
media because
Right.
we're currently totally indie. Not that we wouldn't let a record company pay us money to go and tour and say what we say, as long as we got to keep creative control. But,
Right.
But we are currently totally doing this independently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to something personal. And I'm going to be invasive and personal.
Awesome.
Now, all right. Conventional wisdom, usually states lovers should never be bandmates. So, does the fact that this band contains a married couple, these here, make any difference at all in terms of the band's interpersonal dynamics?
Yeah, I would say so.
right.
I'm sure there are times where Crispy shows up at practice and he could tell our personal dynamics aren't quite on. But then again, dating a person who's in a band isn't easy. Because you're never going to see them. At least we get to see each other. It doesn't mean we have us time very much because it's almost all band. It's still hard, but at least we get to see each other.
I know, and I can't speak for Crispy, and I would love Crispy to speak for himself on this, like, how is it to have a relationship but be in a band? Because I know you're really, really dedicated, both as a Christian to the idea of marriage and family and those really awesome ideals, and also I know you're really dedicated to your sweetie, just personally. So I know that's got to be, like, hard on Saturday night. You guys, maybe as a normal couple, might be like out on a date, but instead, she's standing in the front row of your show.
I can say, at least in my personal relationship and being in a band, it actually just makes things better. I mean, why not feed each other your creative side? She definitely does that for me, and you guys do that for each other.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think them being married in this group actually just makes it more solid, because being in a band is pretty much a marriage.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a marriage.
You're probably gonna spend
It's
more
a lot
time
of
with your band.
dedication. Yeah, and I can say the hardest thing it's actually with my love in my life, she's got a job now, and so
Yeah.
that imposes on how much time we spend together. But I mean, it's always good to be like, hey, do your thing, you know?
Right.
Be you, be an artist. And these two definitely do that for each other, and I love it. I'm glad they're together.
We have this weird kind of like pact in our marriage too that we said long ago that it's kind of all or nothing. Either the band and the marriage makes it, or neither does. Like if
Yeah.
the band breaks
Right.
up, we're breaking up.
Right.
Just because, to me,
Yeah.
sometimes the relationship you have to be in and the sort of vulnerability and opening up yourself and you know, when you're writing music together, my opinion, because it's such a primal, visceral thing, you really can't have like secrets from each other, at least not, you know, in that song, you know. I mean,
Right.
if there's like weird secret resentment going on because, you know, someone left their spit cup in the band bus or whatever, then, you know, I think it comes...
Not that this has
doesn't.
ever been an issue.
This has never actually been an issue.
Okay.
It's funny.
Have you
In
left
this
your
band.
spit cups?
No.
But if there were anywhere, just random example,
Yeah. Right.
then I think it would come out in the songwriting because there's a certain openness and trust you have to look as silly as you have to have when you're. I mean, you've been a musician,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Yeah.
so sometimes I think being like our relationship within the band is in some ways closer and more open than actually, you know, being in a marriage.
It's definitely a tighter relationship than the marriage. That's kind of sad, but it is true.
And I think, you know, I also have told many people in other relationships. I don't know about you, I'd be interested to hear. But I know Jessica and I, before we ever met each other, have both separately told people we're in relationships with, I don't love you as much as I love music. You know,
Yeah.
the band definitely is more important
Art
than
is-
you. The band
art
will
is my-
always be more important. You know?
Yeah, art is the most important thing for me. I want to move the world with art.
And that's funny that you say that, because in every relationship I've been in, that's always been the first thing that I've always said. But not in this.
Yeah,
this
you
relationship
and
that I'm
Karen
in
are pretty
now
close, man.
is
That's awesome.
Completely different.
I think it's kind of different too because with Karen helping out as much as she does with advertising and stuff on the band, she's almost like she's part of the band
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
You know?
Yeah,
She's our pinup girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's a cutie.
Okay, now you were talking about poetry earlier, the poetry scene, and so you're not only known in the regional music community, but also the poetry community.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel the connection is between poetry and music?
No, in rock music, slam poetry works with it. You know, slam poetry is way in your face, and you know, it's pretty awesome. We've been using poetry like in between bands, like we said earlier, for the last year and a half. So I don't know. It's both. They're both performance art.
No, I think, and he does like a kind of a T-Quick DJ, free flow, freestyle thing periodically.
It's hip hop.
Yeah, basically hip hop, but I like good hip hop where there's actually like, you know, poetry and something interesting, you know, being said with some actual content, not just,
It's not gangster rap.
Right.
Yeah.
I got my 40s and my honeys and
Those,
yeah,
blunts,
my
40s.
ride. I mean, you know, okay, pretty
That's
much.
all commercialism, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
And
complete commercialism.
Like hip hop
Yes.
is completely separate from that whole gangster
Yeah.
rap, but it is more poetry.
Yeah, and I think
Definitely.
slam poetry kind of came out of hip hop battles in the same way that rock came out of blues. And, you know, of course, you know, lyrics there's a lot of rock lyrics that you could read as slam poetry because
Right.
it comes down to a lot of the same very speaking truth to power.
Right.
I guess I
Well,
would say.
I mean, What Army's lyrics are written by you, and how many times have you been to the National Poetry Slam?
3 now. And I
Yeah.
guess I'm gotten bitten by the poetry bug again. I'm probably going for a fourth. I don't learn. It's definitely, if you ever get a chance to go to a National Poetry Slam as a competitor or a, team support, volunteer, an alternate, or just as a attendee, it's
amazing.
It's amazing. It's also a really intense, exhausting experience. And I feel almost like some of the people in your church talk about serving missions. It's like, wow, you're glad you did it. You know it was worthwhile. That was exhausting, and you're not in a hurry to do it again anytime, instantly.
Like doing acid.
Very much so. Yeah.
Not that anybody has any
Not that anyone
experience.
around here would do
would
anything
ever
like
do
that.
illegal drugs.
No, we do
Contact
not
me.
advocate.
On,
We do not in any way advocate.
Which
All
brings
right.
me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody in what army smokes crack.
No, okay. All right. So now, tell us a bit about the songs you're going to be doing for us today.
Do we know what songs?
Yeah,
Well,
we do.
We're doing
Do you?
Babydoll Suicide.
Which is the title track of our new album.
All I Want for Christmas is a lap dance.
Yeah, we're family friendly, folks.
Yeah.
Still, it's all about speaking truth to power.
Definitely.
Oh, let's see. What do we want to do? Well, we haven't said anything about those two songs. Babydoll Suicide is a song about this little toy kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And you explain.
Oh, I obviously shouldn't try to sleep when having a lot of cough syrup and flu going on because I fell asleep on much cough syrup and some flu and had this dream that like a porcelain Barbie doll, which boy I wish they'd make one. That'd be neat. Was this evil tyrannical kind of sorority girl queen of like the toy box and playroom nursery area. And she was, ruling with a porcelain fist. And finally, all the little stuffed animals and everything got together, and she had an accident. And it was the whole song is about the story of that, and like the little sort of tea party funeral reception out on the lawn with little girls burying their dead Barbie. And cause I was always the little girl that had the Barbies with the mohawks that were like Amazons out on kidnapping raids to like raid G.I. Joe's camp and take prisoners and torture them with firecrackers and So and the Christmas song, of course, it's December and we have to have a Christmas song. And All I Want for Christmas is a Lap Dance is both about being annoyed by the commercialism of Christmas, and also about the whole. Seems like at Christmas, it's kind of like the people who go to church just on Sunday to pretend they have values that they haven't lived all week long. And it's like at Christmas, we're all supposed to be nice and sweetness and light to each other. And that's great, good, do that, but do that year round. If you really believe in it, then...
We're also going to be doing a song called Heretic.
Okay.
Which, was about basically how we never learn from our mistakes. That we keep going through the same processes to make the same mistakes over and over.
It's a cheerful little ditty, really.
It came from a nightmare a friend of mine had, where he's like almost this, who's that character who keeps like prophecies?
Oh, Groundhog Day?
No.
Butterfly
Cassandra.
Effect? Oh, right.
Kind of a Cassandra figure where he's like, no, guys, don't you remember the last time we did this? It destroyed the world. And then the world destroys, and then he wakes up and it's starting again. And so...
That's just the concept of...
his nightmare,
Yeah.
Actually. That's like Twilight Zone.
Is it?
Like every Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah,
Twilight
there
Zone
you go.
episode ever.
Exactly.
But it was an experiment we did. We wanted to do an album, and that's like you asked a question earlier about writing and the rewardingness of writing versus finished music. And to me, I guess my problem with this band very specifically is we don't want to stop writing. We've got this album out, and we've already got like 4 songs written for one of our next albums, which is a themed album, which is all our friends' nightmares.
But then again, we're writing other songs which aren't themed like that, so we might be doing a double album release.
So we just now released. We're about to release an album like on December 12th, which is as of this airing tomorrow, and we're already writing like 2 more albums. So we just can't stop writing.
But this is the current one.
This is the current one.
This is Babydoll Suicide. The band is What Army. We've been talking with Fury, with Eris, and Crispy. And you're going to want to stick around because they're about to do a performance right here in the studios of Community Access Television, Channel 18, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Keep it here. We'll see you in a few.
We're What Army, and we want you to watch Cat TV. Dude, I should have this written down.
Hi,
We're What Army. What the?
I said hi.
I know, stop that.
One more time.
You guys should write a Christmas song. Happy Yule, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Yeah.
Merry freaking Christmas.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Babydoll Suicide.
Happy holidays is crap.
Bye, Mark. Tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Television, one of my screaming, fitting. Everyone from the old barracks is here. Her favorite kittens, buttons and mittens are wiping their whiskers of lemon drop here. It's a lovely funeral, isn't it fun? The graveyard is almost as nice as the park, and she'll leapfrog on tombstones, tumble and run. We've all been allowed to stay out of the dark. She's all Babydoll Suicide, and she'll preserve her career. She's all a poisonous butterfly trouble in parking lot carnival. She's all Babydoll Suicide, and she'll preserve her career. She's all a poisonous butterfly trouble in parking lot carnival. Someone was listening. Slide over in the chamber, lock the downfall of our own ambition. Is it fate or is it human nature? There's a prophecy no one listens. Everything we build, we break. Never learn from our mistakes. Fight our battles in the name of peace. Hate each other in the name of God. Build a prison in the name of freedom. Kill each other in the name of love. Repeat all the failures of our history. Light the fuse and watch the tree on his back. Trade and send them for the sins of Eden Park. Listen, no one ever. Everything we build, we break. Never learn from our mistakes. Fight our battles in the name of peace. Hate each other in the name of God. Build a prison in the name of freedom. Kill each other in the name of love. We surrender to the chosen as our last defies our future. Are we slaves to our own culture? Are we prisoners of our nature? Everything we build, we break. Never learn from our mistakes. Fight our battles in the name of peace. Hate each other in the name of God. Build a prison in the name of freedom. Kill each other in the name of love. So are we in the mood for some Crash?
How about where the skeletons are?
Ooh, yes. All right. If you like child abuse, you'll like this song.
No, I can do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, rock.
3, 2, 1. Anytime now.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Daddy will buy you a rocking bird. Hush, mockingbird, don't you dare sing, don't you dare I'm the daddy, now do as I say. The bridal veil shrouds you in spider-web lace, with a brass knuckled wedding ring bruise on your face. Oh, when the bell breaks, the cradle will fall. All eyes will tell you, cradle will fall. You darling, nobody else will never leave you no face. You are a black girl, you know you deserve this. You want it, I
Let's do one more.
Yes. Does he have pick?
No, what did you want?
Crash?
Crash?
Sure.
You like Crash?
I love
This is an old root song.
I like this song a lot. by the
In
way.
homage to the Rude and to Madame Caine. This is all I know. Just watching What Army on the Caine Interviews, Cat Channel 18.
Oh.
www.catfayetteville.org.